Hey everybody, what's going on? I am doing a early edition of Wellness Wednesdays because I didn't want to wait to come on and talk about what I wanted to talk about, and so I'm excited that you're here with me. Man, if this is your first time joining me here in the Wellness Wednesdays live studio, my name is James Perkins. I am a therapist coach. Um, and man, I love what I do. I think um, one of the probably most important things in a person, in the totality of a person's life, is their mental health. And thankful that I get the privilege of holding space for a variety of individuals, couples, to help them navigate that. So, man, I'm glad you guys are here. Let me just make sure everything is operating as it should. Um, all right, yeah, good thing I'm live on YouTube and on Facebook tonight. Um, Man, if you're this is your first time joining me or second time, just let me know where you're chiming in from. Please, I want to know where you're chiming in from. Um, because I want to just share some brief thoughts tonight. And if you're catching me by replay, that's perfectly fine. I still want to know where you're chiming in from. On why prioritizing mental health is so important for you and how it will change your life. So again, my name is James Perkins. I'm glad that you're here. I'm a therapist coach. Practice here in the state of North Carolina, but do coaching, therapy coaching, if you will, and transformational coaching in other spaces. So, how do I want to start this tonight? So, I was having a conversation with a client earlier part of this week, and one of the things that we were talking about in this session is like, why is mental health so important? So, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And I think we all know that we should prioritize our mental health, just not in the month of May, but also in every day. But like, why? Why is prioritizing mental health so important? And I want to submit to you that prioritizing our mental and emotional health is important because it helps us to fulfill the call and purpose for our lives. I think the primary reason that why we need mental and emotional health is that it supports us in fulfilling what we've been called to do. Excuse me. I have this personal belief, a conviction of my faith, and a conviction in this belief that we are here for like a purpose, like that we are just not on earth living a random life that doesn't have any consequences or any significance to it. I believe each and every person has a life that has purpose, that has meaning, that has significance, and that the way that and because of that reality that our life has meaning and significance, that we need to make it count. That we need to make it count. But we can't make our life count, if we don't see that our life has anything to offer or that it has meaning beyond the circumstances and the events that we experience. My friend, Miss Winfield, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. You need to text me so we can catch up. I believe that our mental and emotional health is going to be the thing, the entity that sets us up to have a to help us ensure that we actually maximize our life potential. Because what prioritizing our mental and emotional health does is that it allows us to evaluate our life story so that we can pick apart, assess, evaluate what we've experienced to determine what are the things that are useful to us in helping us to fulfill our purpose while we're here on earth, and what are the things that are of no use to us. What I'm a firm believer in is that nothing in our life is ever wasted. We just have to figure out how we are going to use what we have experienced to move us forward. So I think one of the other reasons that prioritizing mental and emotional health is so important is that it gives us an opportunity for us to learn how to leverage our pain. Put that in the comments for me. Leverage my pain. Leverage my pain. Prioritizing your mental and emotional health gives you the ability to learn how to leverage your pain so that your pain doesn't leverage you. And all of us have been in an experience, a moment, a season of life where we felt like, man, our pain was having way more leverage on us than we were having on it. And I think what happens is, and I say this to my clients, I said, it's not so much that life hurts or that we experience suffering or pain that we have an issue with. Like, obviously, I think for most of the people, we understand that life is not a continuous experience of wins, but the best of people understand that any pain that doesn't have any redemptive value to it, and what I mean by redemptive value is that when we don't see any purpose to our pain, that's what makes sometimes our pain so difficult to experience, because we feel like it has no value, no meaning to it. And so I think, a part of why prioritizing our mental and emotional health is so important is that it helps us to figure out the things that we need to, the values that we need to continue to live from, and the beliefs and values that we need to let go of. And it also helps us to figure out, man, how do we leverage our pain for our benefit? Because once we figure out how to leverage our pain, once we realize that we all to some degree have some level of inadequacy in who we are, and that inadequacy doesn't have to be the thing that actually holds us back from doing what we've been called to do, purpose to do. Once we figure out that in a lot of ways our inadequacies are sometimes the thing that link us and connect us to the people that we want to serve, and the people that are going to benefit from us showing up in the person that we need to be showing up as, we'll feel less alone, less ashamed in those state of inadequacies. So I want to share a story with you. So I am, as you may know, I'm a therapist. As I said before, well, when I was in high school, probably even earlier on before that, what I noticed early on as a young man is that I had a level of sensitivity and emotional awareness that other dudes, brothers around me did not have. And, initially I got to be honest, I thought that was weird. I kept it to myself because I was like, I feel and sense things and perceive things that other dudes, guys don't. And so as they're talking about situations, and they have no clue no clue as it relates to like the emotional context or subcontext of events and experiences. I had this level of insight that I felt was unusual as a result of my sensitivity and awareness. And when I was going through high school, just navigating, I got to my senior year of high school, and at that time our school was accustomed to having this senior awards banquet where they would give out 7 outstanding senior awards to 7 seniors. And I had no intention on going to this banquet. It's held every year. But one of my teachers called, I'm going to shout her out because she's incredible, Lynn Lai. She used to teach at Enloe High School here in North Carolina. And amazing teacher. She called my mom and says, hey, is James planning on attending this senior banquet? And she says, I don't think he plans on attending. So she encourages my mom and says, hey, I think he should attend this banquet. And so she tells mom that they're going to have amazing food, dessert there. So I go, you had me at food and dessert. So I plan to go attend this event, and I am eating the food, which is amazing. Dessert comes around. I am eating dessert, and by this time they have started to present the awards for the Outstanding Senior Banquet. And they're going through, so these awards are chosen by a combination of peers and faculty. And so each faculty member gets up to describe the person, the feedback that they received about them, memories, experiences. And so they get to the number 5, and I hear my teachers start to describe experiences in which this person has been observed sitting with people navigating grief, losses, and really intentionally listening and offering their feedback. And then at the end of her segment, she says, and so with this, the 5th Outstanding Senior Award goes to James Perkins. And I am literally floored because I was not anticipating this. I literally had chocolate cake in my mouth when she said this. And so I had to, obviously put my fork down, and I went up to get my award. And as the banquet was over, we got home that evening, I was sitting in my bed just reflecting on like what had just happened and how significant it was for me. And again, if you guys are coming in, let me know where you're chiming in from, city and state. My name is James Perkins. Love to know where you are chiming in from. Tonight we're talking about why prioritizing mental health is really important in changing your life and really changing the world. And so I was reflecting on this experience, and I realized that, man, I think for the first time I realized at 17 that my sensitivity was a gift, but it wasn't a weakness, that it wasn't something for me to be ashamed of. And would you know it, that as a result of that, long story short, I own my own practice, a thriving practice here, and I am making money off of my sensitivity. And when I say make money, I am providing a value, providing service for people as a therapist that provides them value. And as a result of my sensitivity and awareness, I connect with people. They feel connected to me. They feel understood. They feel heard. And as a result, they refer their friends. They refer their family. And so I've built my entire practice off of my gift, in part out of my sensitivity. And so I especially lean into this, especially when I talk with men and guys that feel the same way, because I want them to realize that their sensitivity is a gift, not a weakness, that they need to harness it and learn to be okay with it, because it will be the thing that sets them up for success in the future. So I shared that because I want you guys to see like that, when me navigating my own mental and emotional health conversation with myself and also with other people that I trusted, because I was having these conversations and trying to navigate, like I said, these matters of mental and emotional health for me, it allowed me to really more fully operate and find and cultivate my purpose so that I can really fulfill what it is that I feel like I've been called here to do. So I think at the crux and the fundamental nature of why we should prioritize our mental and emotional health is that it helps us to fulfill purpose. That you can't have fulfill your purpose fully if your mental and emotional health is not intact, if it's not stable. Or at least, let me say it this way, because there are people who are operating in their gifting and don't have mental and emotional stability. Let me offer a caveat. If you want to enjoy the work that you're doing without it feeling like it is a burden or that you're trapped by the work that you do, your mental and emotional health is going to need to be prioritized, because a true prioritization of a mental and emotional health would allow you to feel like you're operating in your purpose, but that it's not a burden for you to do it. I talk with people who are oftentimes operating in a space where they feel like they're called to do it, but they don't feel like their mental and emotional health is in alignment with what they are doing, or they feel like their mental and emotional health is being sacrificed as a consequence of the work they're doing. And when you're at that space, it is a moment. I think life is indicating to you and to me in those moments that, hey, we need to step back, because what may possibly be happening for us is that we may be overcommitting ourselves. We may be serving out of a place, out of a value, out of a core belief that is rooted in our trauma, rooted in our limiting beliefs. And we may have to take some time to step away to kind of evaluate that, so that we can be able to fully serve and show up at a place and operate in our fullest potential, but without the negative drawback from it. So, man, I hope this has really been helpful for you tonight. If it has, let me know in the comments. Let me know again where you're chiming in from. Put some fire in the chat for the moments, even if you're watching my replay, to let me know what resonated with you. And if you have questions for me, drop them here. If you want to visit me, you can do so. I don't even have my handles up tonight, but jamesperkins.help. That is jamesperkins.help. I'm going to put this in the comments. jamesperkins.help. jamesperkins.help. And I want you on YouTube, if you hear jamesperkins.help, there we go. And check me out if you need services, if you need help, if you want me to help you navigate through some of these dynamics that I talked about tonight. Feel free to reach out. I would love to support you in your growth. All right, friends, until next Wellness Wednesdays or next week, holla, peace. Have a great evening.